morning. I'm Anna Dousa. I work indeed at the Rabobank. I'm the innovation lead of HR, and what we are doing is exploring new technologies and working with startups to find out if we can make life of the employee a little bit more easier, because it's quite complicated in the Rabobank. And a couple of years we had a blockchain hype in the bank, and it was quite interesting what they promised, because we have seen multiple cases where we have tried to make the customer more owner of their own data. So that's what was really interesting for HR, because we thought, okay, can we make employees more owner of their data again? Now, it made us thinking very differently, and we tried some, we have worked together with other companies, because at this moment we make life very miserable of employees. If they enter the Rabobank, they have to make copies of their certificates, they have to show assessments, they have to download different documents of the government. And after that, they need to wait, because we are going to validate their documents. And during this, we say to the employee, you really need to be a future-proof employee. And you need to be agile, you need to have different skills, etc. And yeah, then we need to start with a future-proof organization. And what we saw is that we see that employees are switching jobs every 3-4 years, and we do have a lot of interventions that they can learn new skills, and we ask them to be flexible, to change environments rapidly, etc. And what we ask them is to show their credentials towards us. So how can we as an employer change the environment to make it easy for them? Now, in that perspective, we said, okay, we need to change some things, because employees aren't owners of their own data now. And it's very interesting, because if we ask employees, okay, can you fill in our platform? We have Workday, and then they say no, because we have LinkedIn. But yeah, then there's a discussion, but because it's not validated. Yeah, so we thought it needs to be different, and how can we start with this? And that's the reason why we work with Velocity, because that the best way to predict the future is to design it. We have had multiple proof of concepts, and it was quite interesting, because yeah, the journey with start with small steps, but the most important thing, and that's the reason why I am very happy to work with it, employees can't wait to own their credentials. We have given them a career wallet during an application, and they were so happy to share the credentials via an app, not downloading it, not waiting until the employer validates it. So that's the reason why we need to continue this journey. But what we have seen is we can't do it alone. We have worked with other banks in the Netherlands, but we can't do it in only the Netherlands. We need to do it international. So that's the reason why Velocity is very important, and we can't discover the whole system by ourselves. So we need support also from the top of the company. Janine Vos, it's our CHRO. She is really a fan of this, and you really need it on that level. Yeah, you need to start small. We heard it already. And technology is one thing, but trust is the most important thing. And I think Robert is going to tell a little bit more about the proof of concept we are doing now, but working with other banks, it's not the easiest thing. Everybody has backlogs, they are different, other priorities, etc. So it needs to be a priority, and you need trust. Yeah, and we really need to rethink the system. It's not the technology on its own. So that's the reason why we are very happy with Velocity and work together with them and with banks. And Robert is going to explain what we are doing with the other banks in the Netherlands.
Yes, and let me see if I can share my screen. Yes, come on, share. Come on. Sorry, 1 sec.
Otherwise, I can share it. Oh, sorry, there was no video of me. Do you want me to share it, Robert?
Yeah, if you have the slides, please do. Right. Oh, I can share it now. Yeah, great. Okay, cool. Can everyone see it?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Let me see how this works. Yes. So we got a beautiful technological solution via blockchain, which provided by Velocity and the members of Velocity. But now the next step, and that's already shared by Dominic as well. Okay, what's the business case and what's the use cases we can focus on? So we found 2 valuable use cases for now at the first steps, and a lot of others in the upcoming years. But for now, we are focusing on 2 use cases with a group of banks and also other companies like Validata and Randstad in the Netherlands. And I will just briefly discuss them both. The first one is the candidate background check. Anna already mentioned that, but to give an example, like our manager applied a few years ago at Rabobank for his new job, and he lived for a while with his family in America, and so he needed to provide his diploma as well, and the official one. So he asked his mother-in-law to go to the ceiling and to get there the boxes with his old stuff and get the official diploma. So this is just time consuming. It's totally not a fun experience, and it can be done way faster. And if we look at the whole journey, you first of all the steps within the recruitment process. But at the moment you get an offer as a candidate, there's also a request for background information, which currently is done via a screening company like Validata, but Rabobank, we have our own service like the HR services, and that's a group of employees who checks it all the background information, and which is provided first via a PDF, and then we call the previous employers and check past employment, do highest diploma checks and all other things. And this step can be really improved by asking via the career wallet HR credentials, which can be uploaded by the employee, and it's just a matter of seconds instead of a matter of days. Because if you see that it's 22% of the employees takes more than a week to do the background check, and it's mainly focused on the past employment, because the other checks are just mainly database checks, which can be done very quickly. And we have 3 reasons to do so. The first is what I already explained. It's to improve the candidate experience. It goes much faster. They're in charge of their own data and credentials. The second one is also we decrease time, not only for the candidate, but also for our own processes. So candidates can be more quick to work, and we decrease costs. And it's kind of, this part of the process is also really not fun to do by other colleagues within Rabobank, because they need to call again, get the right person before they can do the check. And third one, which is already said, at LinkedIn, everyone is saying everything. Well, you can also buy your diploma for about 40 euros on several websites online, which are totally the same as the original ones from human perspective. But with the HR credentials, we can just get our diplomas from DO, which is the provider from the government, provides the diplomas, and we know for sure that it's the right diploma. So we exclude diploma fraud. And so we're working with a group of organizations currently at the background screening pilot. The 3 banks also Randstad and Validata as supplier and screening company. But if this is set, then the next steps are already there. The NCOE and HFM are other educators from other types of diplomas who are already in conversation with Velocity and already wanted to join the network. And on the more long run, we have conversations currently already a few years with Duo and SURF and other and the Ministry of Finance and others to provide us with the official documents, which is a little bit harder because, well, they are not so fond of working together closely with organizations, and especially banks, and they want to do it on their own pace and their own ways of working. But we're still, in conversation with them, because if we can open up via maybe also the EU legislation, that will be a huge opportunity. And so the second one, the use case is about onboarding of KYC employees. And a good friend of mine, I wanted to share her story because that's definitely give insight about why this is needed. She joined Welte, that's a supplier of external employees in the banking sector in February 2020. She had a total different background, but she got all kind of education by Welte. We focused on KYC, and so she got all training there. Then she went to ABN as the first assignment, and she get the same training again. So she got the same foundational training, plus additional information about the system, about ABN. And then afterwards, after that period, the first 8 months, she went to work at Rabo, and she get again the same training, and also again other systems of Rabo. But the basic foundation training she did 3 times, and I checked it with the training modules within Workday in Rabobank. It's about 10 hours of work of training, which we can diminish, because if you had done it once instead of 3 times, that would save a lot of time, a lot of costs for everyone. And so that's the use case number 2, where we see a lot of potential, especially because of a few 100 employees are joining or and going in turns from one bank to another within the Netherlands and also within Europe. And so we first are focusing currently with the 3 banks on, okay, what are the low-hanging fruit? Are there any training which we are currently already providing toward the employees of the banks? And that's the interbanking masterclasses. That's masterclasses provided by the 3 banks to employees. But that's the first tiny step. And the next step is also to work with Yacht, that's part of Randstad, and who provides already the basic trainings to Rabobank and ABN to see, can we come up with a full process and full business case where we or ask Yacht and Welte and Randstad and other suppliers and other educators to come up with a basic foundational training, and that they do the training, or we provide it from the banks ourselves. But overall, the idea is, how can we just make it much easier and create one size fits all training for current foundational trainings, but also for the upcoming legislation, which is from the EU in the Netherlands, to save costs, to make the journey for employees much easier, and to collaborate as an ecosystem instead of everyone does it on their own. And so this one is also maybe already shared with by Dominic, and it's kind of the same steps which we did for our pilot as well. So we first thought of the business cases, then dive deep into the use cases, where I give you just a high overview. We did every step and every emotional part of the journey as well, from a candidate perspective. then the data sharing agreements on, okay, if we share data, how does it look like? What's just the credential? What are the details we want to share? And is everyone agrees with that? And the technical solution, of course, it's there, and now we are implemented it currently with also credential agent operators like the third-party suppliers, and we're in the current process to make it all happen. And we already got the legal privacy risk approvals internally, which will, yeah, of course, it's an additional step if the software is there as well. And the user experience, we are currently in collaboration with ING and ABN and Randstad are working on some user pilots to also to see, okay, what can we learn and what's the right catch, what's the right language we need to use and all that stuff to make it all happen. Because if the technology is there, but it's even important that the user experience is in place as well. And so that's it for now. I'm really looking forward to increase our ecosystem in the upcoming months and years outside the borders of the Netherlands and towards all of Europe or worldwide. Thank you so much.